Hi there, Summoners! GuardianE here with another live reaction and first impression video in Fire Emblem Heroes. And tonight we are getting the reveal of the next set of new heroes dropping into the game in just a couple of days. Now, we do know in the game already is the new version of DAGR, so of course I do think we're going to get the official reveal here along with her full kit and everything. But of course we're going to get a whole banner alongside her. So we got the trailer pulled up here, we're going to watch it together for the first time, react to the kits, the characters, the art, everything else as it gets revealed, and go through it fresh. So let's get cracking. Let's get started. See who they've got in here for us. All right, rearmed hero. Wait, so DAGR wasn't a rearmed, right? I thought she was oh no. Oh, okay. All right. So we're getting rearmed Marianne, right? Yeah. Wow. Okay. Flying red tome user, but doesn't she have a sword? That's kind of weird. Wait, okay, so hold on. All right, before we move on, let's take a look at Marianne's art here. So she's going to be a red tome flyer, which is a little unusual because she's brandishing a blade. So that's a little weird. That notwithstanding, maybe the kit will explain that. But she is going to be a flying tome unit, so that's pretty nice. Very elaborate design. I would say almost like too busy. There's a lot going on here, very ornate, lots of armor components to it. With the shoulder armor fenced area, as well as the actual gated parts to the side. I've got the boots, the standard for Pegasus riders. She's got the flowing cloak behind her, got the winglets by her face, some ribbons on tresses off to the side. So again, it's like very busy, almost discombobulated. I feel like thematically it's kind of all over the place. There is a lot going on. I do like the color palette. Alright, so her weapon, Arcane Blutgang, 14 might, range 2, has a killer slaying effect. At start of combat, if unit has at least 25% HP, grants bonus to stats equal to 25% of foe's attack. At start of combat, -4, min 5, max 14. Okay, deals damage equal to 15% of unit's attack. Alright, so it has some fixed true damage component. Reduces damage from foes' first attack by 7. Alright, some fixed damage reduction, which includes the brave effects against her as well. Neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit, and grants special cooldown count -1 to unit before unit's first attack during combat. I see. So it negates guard, as well as she gets a special charge before her first attack during combat. Along with the killer slaying effect is going to be quite nice, and I see that she does have Requiem Prayer as a special, and presumably going to be her own unique special, because it's pretty stacked. We'll get into it. But yeah, so Arcane Blutgang is going to be an inheritable weapon. She is a rearmed hero, and it is going to be a red tome, so that does mean that we are getting a new rearmed or arcane red tome, which is nice. And it seems like it's got some pretty nice stuff going for it, especially the special charge. Like, so it's going to be geared towards, amping up the charge and chaining specials and things like that. Requiem Prayer for the special. When special triggers, boost damage by 40% of units res, and neutralizes reduced damage by X% effects for foes. So it actually has damage reduction nullification built into it, and 40% of her res as the damage. That alone is quite good. At a 2-turn cooldown, that's already good. If unit's res is greater than foe's res, reduces damage from attacks during combat and from AoE specials by percentage equal to 4 minus current special cooldown count value. X difference between stats, max difference between stats is 10, times 10. Okay, gotcha. So current special value times 10. So she enjoys some damage reduction built in there. If unit triggers special during the current turn, enables Kanto 2, and she is ranged, so she gets Kanto 2 as well. When Kanto triggers, enables unit to use Sing Dance. Can be triggered by any Kanto effect other than the Kanto effect from the special. Once per turn, if special effects are active, this effect does not trigger. This effect is not treated as an assist skill, nor is it treated as a sing or dance skill. So she gets a dance built into her special? What is that? That is completely unnecessary. That's so unnecessary. Okay, so like, alright, so her special proc actually allows her to not only have a Kanto... Well, let me rephrase that. When she gets a Kanto, she gets a refresh built in as part of her special. Crystalline Water for the A slot, obviously stacking the attack and res there, and the neutralization of panic and penalties. Speed res Discord for the B slot. At start of player phase or enemy phase, inflict speed res -6, and Discord on foes with res lower than her res and that are within 2 spaces of another foe through their next actions. Inflicts penalty on foes' speed and res during combat equal to the number of foes inflicted with Discord within 2 spaces of target, including target times 2 plus 4, max 10, and deals damage equal to 50% of units res. As just a bonus damage component to it as well. That's quite strong. And then Speed Res Crux. Inflicts Speed Res -4 on foes within 3 rows and 3 columns centered on unit, and those foes suffer guaranteed follow-up attacks during combat. The Crux tree of skills, very, very strong. The kit as a whole, very, very strong. Marianne is a fan favorite, and they certainly delivered in giving her sort of unique capabilities and what she can do. Easily activates her special with her arcane weapon. Again, she gets that killer slaying effect and the special cooldown at the start, and then gets Kanto and grants another action to allies. It's just, kind of ridiculous. Kind of ridiculous. So here is her using her arcane Blutgang. And there we go. Cool effect. I like the actual... I like the actual sprite effect with the attacking animation. Requiem Prayer. Very cool. Alright. Well, there we go. And then there's the Kanto. She's going to refresh Claude, I'm guessing. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Okay. Alright, game. Oh, boy. That's gonna be messy. Oh! Chivalric Amends. Do we not we don't have Ashe, do we? We don't have regular Ashe in the game. That I just realized we don't have regular Ashe in the game. We have the summer version. And for whatever reason I forgot completely that we don't actually have Ashe. So this is going to be the default OG version of Ashe now in the game. That's in the regular pool. That's nice. Toby doing a great job on the art. Toby has the tendency to do nice, clean, youthful-looking art. I think that's very fitting for Ashe as a character. I think it works really well here too. He's got that boyish facial features and that silver hair, the green eyes. He's going to be a cavalry green archer. All right, so that's interesting. He's going to have a color bow, just bow. It's just bow. 14 might, range 2, killer slaying effect, effective against flying foes, of course. If unit initiates combat or there is an ally within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, grants bonus to unit's stats equal to 5 plus 15% of unit speed at the start of combat. Unit deals plus 7 damage. And neutralizes effects that inflict special cooldown charge -X on unit during combat, and also, when unit special triggers, neutralize foes, reduces damage by X% effects from foes' non-special skills during combat as well. So he just gets damage reduction nullification built into his weapon, and it's a really easy, really manageable condition to meet to have all of those powerful effects. If unit initiates combat, grants special cooldown count -1 to unit before unit's first attack during combat, and also, if foes attack can trigger foes' special, it inflicts special cooldown count +1 on foe before foe's first attack during combat. Really? So he gets special rewind? Like, why? I feel like that's... I don't... Well, I mean, it's really strong. Thematically, I don't know why he would get that. I mean, I feel like him getting the pre-charge when initiating combat is kind of enough, because that seems to be kind of the theme of the banner, at least so far, is that pre-charge, but... The special rewind as well feels like it's overkill. For allies within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, grants attack speed +4 during their combat. So he has actually a nice support ability as well, built into his weapon. Also, if ally initiates combat and foes attack and trigger foes special, inflict special cooldown count +1 on... Oh, okay, so really? So he gives special rewind to all of his allies within 3 rows and 3 columns? That's insane. And, again, completely unnecessary. That seems a little... It seems like overtuned. That definitely seems overtuned. Curved shot for the special. We've seen that for 2 cooldown special. Boosts special damage by 30% of the greater of foe's speed or defense. If unit or foe special is ready, or if unit or foe special triggered before or during this combat, and if unit can attack during combat, reduces damage from foe's next attack by 40%. Getting some special, getting some damage reduction built in there. Flared Sparrow for the A slot, so he is going to get that as combat begins damage, as well as the Divine Vein, and the boosts to attack and speed. Seal Speed Defense 3 for the B slot. Inflict Speed Defense -3 on foe. An additional penalty to foe speed and defense equals 6. Minus current penalty on each of those stats during combat. Min 0 calculates each stat penalty independently. Right. If penalty is active on foes, speed or defense, inflict special cooldown charge -1 on foe per attack during combat. So it actually has a guard effect on the enemy too. In addition to the kind of the special rewind is pretty debilitating. After combat, inflict special speed defense -6 on foe through its next action. So that is quite a strong B slot skill. And then odd speed wave 4. I can't remember. It's at start of combat grants speed +6 to unit and allies within 2 spaces of unit for 1 turn, right? If unit speed is greater than foe speed, -5 neutralize effects that guarantee foes follow-up attacks and effects that prevent units follow-up attacks during combat. And if it's an odd number turn, grants speed +6 to unit during combat. So again, moving the even and odd turn component to the most throwaway portion of the C slot, which is the in-combat boost. Yeah, for just like a regular unit, they made him incredibly strong. What he offers as far as support capability to provide special rewind for his allies, irrespective, there's no condition for that. So I mean, a lot of units out there get really busted when they have those as a defensive capability built in that they wouldn't ordinarily be able to. Uses his powerful specials to destroy foes, and in turn he obstructs foes' specials during his allies' combats. Yeah, so again, that's really, really powerful. So it does seem like this is going to be a 3 houses type banner in general. Just bow, right? Yep, the flared sparrow, and then the just bow, curved shot. There we go. And then just bow once again, preventing the special charge to get from being gained once again. So yeah, they're really like heavily. Oh, wow. Okay, we're getting Daring X Singer. We are going to be getting the actual like OG version of Dorothea in the game. That is quite nice. Okay, so the normal version of Dorothea in the game. That's great. I actually did remember that we did not have the original. So I guess this is like the moving characters out of seasonal hell from 3 houses banner is kind of what it's shaping up to be. Because Dorothea has 2 seasonal versions at this point, and so this is her actual regular version that's dropping into the regular pool, so that's great. She looks great. The art is actually awesome on her. I love the black and the gold composition of her outfit. The cap is really stylish, very, very fashionable, works well with the jewelry and the trappings, the tassels, and everything else that she has on. Really striking design. The Zetai Roiki is very, very attractive with the thigh-high boots that she has going on there. Outfit is snug in all the right places, showing off her beguiling feminine form, and I do really love the curls in her hair. I think they did that really well with the shading, the green eyes, really beautiful. I think they did well with Dorothea here, and she is going to be an infantry blue tome unit. Okay, so Dorothea is going to be the 4-star focus unit of the banner, quite obviously, and she is not going to get her own unique tome, which is unfortunate. Blar Vulture plus 12 might. If the unit is not adjacent to an ally, inflicts penalty on foes' attack and res during combat equal to 5, plus any current penalty on each of those stats. If foe has -7 penalty to attack, inflicts attack -12 for a net penalty of attack -19 during combat. Calculates each stat penalty independently. Sing for the assist, so she is going to be a refresher, a singer/dancer, which makes a lot of sense given her character. Speed cantrip 3 for the B slot, and infantry null follow 3 for the C slot. So, so some stepping stone skills, I guess. Beyond that, not really anything to write home about. She's going to be an easy merge project. She's going to be a dancer. But yeah, they kind of did her dirty a little bit, especially considering that Ashe, got the really an overtuned treatment, to be perfectly honest. Like they went above and beyond with his kit. And then with this kit, it's pretty lackluster. That being said, Dorothea has multiple seasonal versions in the game, and I'm sure we're actually going to get more seasonal versions of her in the future, so I'm not going to really be too heartbroken about this. But she is going to be, again, an easy merge project, and in the regular pool at that. So her weapon boosts penalties on foes' attack and res during combat. When she sings, nearby foes get -7 to speed. Yep. So yeah. Do really like her art quite a bit. And then a new aided hero, as we knew was coming, joins the battle. And this is, of course, going to be a new version of DAGR, Sunny Bloom. Really gorgeous art. Look at how extravagant the art is. Very elaborate, regal in design. Really going full force with the Valkyrie look. She is going to be an infantry sword unit. Love the giant golden raptor behind her. I think that is probably going to be the aid, right? As being part of aided DAGR. It's probably just the bird is probably going to be a part of that. The bird of prey here. But yeah, here's DAGR. I love the art for her. I think it's fantastic. I love how detailed it is. All the little design elements to the armor is really great stuff. DAGR, of course, having that confident smile, those killer abs, that powerful physique, and that charming femininity all together in one heck of a package. And yeah, she looks great. She looks really great. They did a fantastic job on the art. And let's see if they made any changes to her kit, or what kind of changes they made to her. All right, so let's see what changes they may have made to her kit. So, Vathor Folnir's Edge. That's going to be 16 Might Sword Killer Slaying effect. At start of turn, if an ally is within 3 rows or 3 columns of her, grants attack speed +6 and null follow-up to unit and allies within 3 rows and 3 columns centered on unit for 1 turn. So it's one of those where she gets those buffs as well as her allies within that enormous range of 3 rows and 3 columns. If unit initiates combat, or if there's an ally within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit, grants bonus to unit's stats equal to 5 plus number of allies within 3 rows or 3 columns centered on unit times 3 max 14. Neutralizes unit's penalties, neutralize effects that inflicts guard on her, neutralizes, or unit deals plus X damage, so true damage, and reduces damage from foes' first attack by 50% of X during combat. In all of those calculations, X is the highest total bonuses among unit and allies within 3 rows and 3 columns centered on unit. First attack, of course, means brave hits as well. It means first and second strikes, and also when foes attack triggers foe special, reduces special damage by 50% of X. So a lot of that is based around her allies and the number of bonuses that they have, right? So that's really the critical or the pivotal element to this. So reposition gate is new. Okay, so that's interesting. She has a new assist. Target's ally moves to opposite side of unit. If unit uses assist skill on the current turn, enables Kanto 1. Really? So that is going to be just a straight upgrade to reposition, and presumably inheritable, right? It shouldn't be locked to her. There's nothing in here that really seems like it would be locked to her. That's interesting. A reposition has been basically a linchpin of the game since year 1. And reposition gate is, it's just that much more. It gives it Kanto 1. And the interesting element to this is that I think what's perhaps more interesting about it is that reposition gate is probably not going to be locked to a particular movement type. So it is going to give, a Kanto capable skill to a lot of units that would not otherwise have easy access to Kanto. And I will say that even though it is just a straight upgrade to reposition, it's somewhat a reasonable one, because I think it has a lot of utility. Like, Kanto 1 is still very good to have baked into an assist. But that being said, a lot of units out there have other ways of getting Kanto, so this is just kind of like an additional way to get it if the unit doesn't have other means of doing so. To me, that seems like a really reasonable upgrade. It's one of the most measured, upgrades that I've seen in the game in the past year. To me, I think this is probably the most reasonable skill upgrade that they've had in the last year. Whereas every other upgrade to a skill has been, again, leapfrogging and overtuning to the max. I actually really like Reposition Gate in how they handled that. Attack speed XL, so there's going to be bonus attack and speed based around the number of tile movement. Oh, so they are going to give her a new B slot and a new C slot? Alright, so her own unique B-slot skill is Vathor Folnir's Wing, has a Pathfinder effect built in, so she had to have that somewhere, right? At start of turn, if unit is on a team with only one support partner, grants Pathfinder to support partner for 1 turn. Really? Oh, so she actually just gives Pathfinder to her partner. That's really strong. That's actually really kind of... That's really powerful. That's really powerful. At start of turn, if unit is not on a team with a support partner and there is only one ally who has the highest defense, grant Pathfinder to that ally for 1 turn. So even So even if she doesn't have a particular partner on the team, is just going to be bestowed upon the ally with the highest defense. At start of combat, which makes a lot of sense too, because the ally with the highest defense is one that you would have probably out in the front, right? So if you're going to have that unit out in the front, it would make sense that they would have the Pathfinder, so they would be the unit that you could pass through to get an additional tile. At start of combat, if unit's HP is at least 25%, inflicts penalty on foes' attack speed defense equal to 5 plus current bonus on each of foe stats times 2. I see. Okay. Alright. And reduces the percentage of foes' non-special, reduced damage by X% skills by 50% during combat. So she has damage reduction piercing, and restores 7 HP to unit after combat. Yeah, that's a bit of a game changer. I mean, her not only having Pathfinder, which was a given, right, but her bestowing Pathfinder to another ally is a really powerful component, can make for tricky setups, really dangerous team compositions and things like that. So that's a heck of a combination. In addition to the other things that she gets, which is, again, a whole heck of a lot of stat debuffs on the enemy, basically effectively neutralizing the enemy's attack bonuses, right? That's basically what it does. And then the damage reduction, piercing, and the healing and all that good stuff. A firm Kanto curb for the C slot. If foes within 4 spaces of this unit triggers Kanto, inflicts Kanto control on that foe. So this is going to be the next tier of Kanto control. Prevents after start of turn effects trigger, action ends immediately, status effects from being inflicted on unit, and allies within 3 spaces of unit. Okay. Alright, so we're seeing a hard counter to that effect as well, which is pretty nice. It's kind of weird because that doesn't really seem related to Kanto at all. It almost feels like they're just kind of like shoving different effects into the C-slot skill that are like annoying effects that don't currently have a hard counter. They're just kind of like slapping them together. I mean, I guess you could argue that it's centered mostly around Ether Raids, or at least the PvP component, because those are very common effects in Ether Raids. So it kind of makes sense, but they're not really related. For unit and allies within 3 spaces of unit, neutralize effects that would end their action as a result of foe skills or after. Okay. Offend action ends immediately. Status does not neutralize effects from Ether Raid structures or special slot. I see. Okay, alright. I mean, Firm Kanto Curb is definitely a hard upgrade to Kanto Control. It's just better. Not only does it have the default Kanto Control, but it also gets rid of another annoying effect that you see often in PvP. But Dagger's got a lot of really great stuff going for her here. Her kit as a whole is really strong. A lot of it is centered around having allies within 3 rows and 3 columns, which is really easy to maintain. And she bestows a lot of buffs to her allies at the same time, providing that, you know, that null follow-up, and then the other buffs, the debuffs, the Pathfinder to one of the allies, all really, really powerful components. And quite formidable. So, grants allies Pathfinder and aids their advances, deals more damage based on her or allies' highest total bonuses. So once again, it does debuffs to the enemy in line with their bonuses, also does more damage or boosts to herself based around her and her allies' bonuses. So she is driven by the number of bonuses and the number of allies within 3 rows and 3 columns of her, which is nice. Oh, look at that! The damage art is awesome. Look at how dynamic it is. The angle and everything with the shield and the sword rearing back. That's really cool. And the bird taking up like so much of the background too. The glowing bird. Sunny Bloom, get an AIDS essence when you summon the aided hero, of course. Okay. And you can give that to an ally to give them +1 to stats, as you can see. And then they will also get the aid, Dagger's aid, as an accessory, which is nice. Alright. Okay. A little mini version, not quite as huge. New story chapter, Quieting Dose. And looks like things are going to start heating up as a whole. Alright, new heroes are here starting on the 15th of October. Presumably going for about an entire month or so. Oh, Caspar! Guess what? Hotheaded Inciter is also going to be showing up as a non-focus hero. So it really is like the 3 houses out of seasonal hell, like banner. That's really what it is. And then you are going to be able to spark 2 times on this banner. There are 2 limited Are there 2 limited Yeah, there are 2, because Marianne is a rearmed hero, and then Dagger, of course, is an aided hero. So you are going to be able to spark at least 2 times on the banner, should you choose to do so. So that's nice. Seeing these 3 houses characters get out of seasonal hell is appreciated. And they are fan favorites too. Like, a lot of these are really popular. 2 reds on the banner, so there is not going to be even color distribution. The 2 reds that are color sharing are actually going to be the 2 limited units, though. So that's interesting, because red has a lot of value then on this banner. The fact that there are 2 red focus units and they're both limited, that does change things quite a bit. I think in terms of a value proposition, that actually boosts the banner quite a bit. In terms of the characters in the banner as a whole, Marianne is going to be amazing with that Kanto dance. As a flying tome user, and then also being rearmed has innate value too, just because you can inherit her stuff and still keep her. You've got Aided Dagger as well in that same boat. She's going to be pretty phenomenal as not only just dishing out the damage, but also providing support. Being able to provide support to all of her allies within 3 rows and 3 columns is really great stuff. And additionally, the Pathfinder effect too to one of her partners, or at least one of her allies, is it's a scary prospect potentially on a team composition. Ashe with the special charge and the pre-charge, and then the special rewind and the special rewind effect to his allies is really ridiculous. I mean, they really, I think, overtuned him as well. I think all 3 of these characters are really, really strong. Dorothea, not as strong. Not as strong. She's a dancer. She's got some skills, as stepping stone skills. She's got an okay tome, but not a unique tome. Her art's great, though. And speaking of the art, I mean, I think Dagger looks amazing. I think Dorothea looks fantastic. I think Ashe looks really appropriate, too. I think they captured kind of his youthful charm. And then, and Marianne, I think the art is gorgeous for her. I think the design is a little bit convoluted for me personally. It feels a little kind of all over the place, but I think they did well on the execution, at least from the, from the actual art itself. So yeah, a lot of value on this banner as a whole. I don't know if I'm going to be going in necessarily. I would want to go in for Dorothea, but she's going to go in the regular pool and as a 4-star hero. So we're probably going to pull her at some point in the future. Marianne, it would be nice to have. She's got good skills though. And Dagger, honestly, it kills me that I don't have any version of Dagger, actually, in the game. And I would actually really like one. I don't know. I'll have to decide. But yeah. Again, this banner's going to be around for a month, so there's plenty of time to decide. You are able to spark twice. Let me know down below if you guessed the banner, the composition, the out-of-seasonal hell theming that was going on here, and the kits and everything. Let me know if you're excited to pull on the banner, who you're going to be targeting, if you are going to be summoning. Best of luck to you if you do. Hopefully you all enjoyed the video. If you did, please consider leaving a like, commenting down below, subscribing to the channel for more Fire Emblem Heroes content. We thank you all so much for watching, and until next time, let's protect those skies.